technology is just a tool, right? Technology, the digital technology we're talking about, is no different really, in essence, to a stone axe or to a printing press or to power tools or whatever. It's just a tool that humans have invented for certain use, and the critical thing is, how do we use that technology? So there are many positives, I think. You know, often a lot of people of my generation see negatives in this sort of tidal wave of digital technology that seems to be swamping us. But I see many positives, right? Just think how quickly, how readily information is available to us now. We have a World Wide Web, a dynamic repository of all the information that humans have accumulated over 250,000 years of history. That, as I said yesterday morning, or whenever it was, feels like a week ago, yesterday morning, 100 billion humans have accumulated this, who have lived since we began as a species, have accumulated this wealth of knowledge, which was so difficult to access in times past. Now you go to a computer, you log into Google, you log into Wikipedia, anything you want to know is there. I mean, what a positive that is in terms of human communication, advancing human knowledge. It can actually enrich our social networks, even though many of my curmudgeonly friends say, oh, my kids are spending too much time on the computer and so on. Well, they're on Facebook. They're on WhatsApp. They're communicating in this enormous global social network. They're probably more connected to the world than we've ever been before. It makes collaboration in my field between colleagues all over the world so easy, so possible. So every day, literally every day, I'm on the computer communicating with colleagues in Australia or Uzbekistan or Moscow, or I have many colleagues here in India. That just was not possible before. It would have taken weeks for letters. I've got this new idea about what this coin might mean and how we might interpret this ancient coin. Well, now I get instant response like that. Right, so it makes my field more dynamic, it makes advances in my field and every other field so much faster. The games that so many of my, again, curmudgeonly colleagues tend to criticise, these games, research shows, are making reactions faster, responses faster, speeding up the brain in many ways. I mean, I can see some concerns there as well, but who knows how that's going to play out in the future. Psychologists now in the States are using games to, or starting to think about using games to help with cognitive dysfunction, with Alzheimer's. Imagine using a game to help restore certain motor neurons and cortexes and so on that have led to Alzheimer's and other sort of conditions like that. Think of the medicine of the future. Think of Star Trek, where you see the person lying out there and some machine would pass over the body and instantly diagnose the problem and the solution. That's not far away because of digital technology. And think of the way our economy, the economy of India, everything we do, economic activity, manufacturing, production, is enhanced, is made more efficient through digital technology, through computers. So, I mean, the world is just, I think, so much better as a result of this new tool we've invented. There are negatives, of course. We discussed some of those today, and they're very real. What's the physical impact on the eyes? You know, my eyes are always sore from constantly staring at this bright screen. And my new Apple computer seems even brighter than the past one, so I've got to sort of do something about that. But I'm sure there's a seriously negative impact on eyes. Sushima, you mentioned physical activity. You know, if we spend all of our life just anchored in front of a machine and we stop being physical, well, obviously our health will suffer. You know, so we need that balance. I notice many of my friends that are very computer literate are wearing Fitbits or Jawbones or other technology to make sure we're getting in those steps every day. And you can even set a little buzzer to remind you, Craig, time to get up. You've been sitting here for an hour. Get up, walk around, do something, right? So there, the computer is helping me to stay healthy and fit, right? The same technology. Children can confuse the virtual and the real world. We had a quite serious discussion about that today. There's a role for the teacher there, of course, right? To help students keep that separate, that concept of this is a virtual world, this is the real world. You behave differently in both. Can it isolate children from the real world? All right, so they can become so withdrawn, so isolated, they can no longer interact with the real world. But as Suzanne pointed out today, you know, she and I were both avid readers, and my parents were always saying, for heaven's sake, Craig, get your nose out of the book and get outside and take a walk, right? So, I mean, that's not a new negative, I don't think. And we need a framework, seriously, to prevent inappropriate use of the web, to prevent predators from preying on children, and so on. These are very real problems, right, that we have to address. So what's the role of the teacher in all of this? So a number of points have come up, and we've already heard some of them today, but to help students discriminate the information they're finding on the web. So you can go to Wikipedia, You can learn that certain sites are constantly being sort of bigoted over, fought over through competing factions. Go and Google, say, Six-Day War, Palestinian War, and look at the different interpretations you'll get from so many different sites. Google anything that's vaguely controversial. So, teachers need to help students to look for more objective sources, to look for balance, to critically assess any source they're finding on the web.